Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing agent success interview. And you guys are in for a real treat because we are interviewing Donika from Atlanta, Georgia. And she is going to be sharing her amazing tips and tricks on how she nurtures her database and her sphere so they give her never-ending referrals. This is going to be amazing. Donika, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Carolyn. It's a pleasure to be with you.
I love it. And I'm so excited to introduce you to my channel. I love what you do with your sphere and how you nurture them. And I'm really excited to get into this conversation with you today. Before we get started, give the audience a little breakdown of how did you even get into real estate?
Yes, so that's a good question. It was a long time ago, right? But I haven't forgotten. I was in my early 20s and I was working for a builder, really teaching English because that's what I graduated for. But then I was also working for a builder as, in his office, just doing secretarial work. And he suggested, why don't you get your real estate license? And that's what I did. I had no idea, almost fresh out of college. What's a 2-month course, right?
Yeah.
And 2 or 3. But anyway, I got into it. I got my license. Actually started working with one of his agents at the time that was selling one of his subdivisions, and and that's how it started. No idea what I was getting into. I was also at that time, a fresh immigrant from Bulgaria. So, you don't know the culture that well. I knew the language, obviously. That's what I had studied for in college. But that was all that I had going on. And that's how it all started. Got into a team, learned a lot very quickly, which was to my advantage. And the only thing I didn't learn was how to get clients, right? Which is really the most important and job number one in real estate. But I did get a lot of experience. It was a good experience there. And got into that crash 2008, right? I was only a year and a half in the business. So it was hard. But I had already discovered that real estate as a career has a lot of potential, and I didn't want to give it up, even though it was hard. So I persevered. Um, there were points when I was teaching English at night, 4 hours in a local college here, and so that I have time for real estate during the day. And things picked up. Nothing stays forever, right? Good or bad. So it kind of, after that, every year things were getting better, and I'm still here today, excited about every client opportunity, and there's just so much, right?
Wow.
So
That's awesome how people that got into the business either prior to 2008 or during 2008, and you're still here today. The good testimony, for even a market that we're experiencing right now, a
yes.
lot of agents, are having less volume, listings canceling, things to that nature. So, in some respects, it could be a difficult market, especially if you possibly were in it in the last couple years. It was like a magical rainbow. And
Yes.
now it's a little bit harder to, make it. But like you said, everything has its time, and the seasons pass, and as long as you stay within it, look at you now, so
Yes.
that's
Best decision I made, not to quit this industry. I was close. There were points when I was close. But yes, I'm glad I didn't.
yes, and that's so good because a lot of people, they think that's it. If I haven't made it by now, it's not gonna happen, and you really, it's that entrepreneurial spirit to just keep going.
Yes.
So you started working with the builder, and then you were working in like a new construction environment, or
Yes, yeah, correct. I was working with one of the agents that was selling his subdivisions. He had new construction subdivisions, and he also had like condo conversions because they were so popular in Atlanta during that time. So I was really, again, learn how to sell condos, learn how to, just sell. Um, Single family homes, new construction, and that's what I was doing. And of course, I also handled things that were just, individual clients, buyers and sellers. I was taking photos as well, right? You know, they handed me a camera, go take the photos for this listing. We did it that way back then. So I learned how to, take good photos at that time, because I was also criticized sometimes. Hey, what are you showing here? That the room has a bed, so so yeah,
That's very good. Yeah, so it sounds like you got like a hell of an amount of experience very early on because isn't that the hard part about real estate is, people don't want to work with people that have never sold a house or have never done a deal. So then how do you even get the experience to be able to actually do it, you know? Wow, so you got a crash course real quick.
Yes, yeah,
Uh,
correct. It was good. Yes, obviously I was on the team, so they already had business, and that's the good part that you can learn. But at the same time, you always have to learn, because the team fell apart honestly after the crash of 2008, and I was on my own. So that's when it hits hard that you're in the business to also get clients. You have to know where's the next client
mhm,
coming from, and that was something that obviously that I had to work through. And honestly, back in those times, information wasn't available as it is right now,
right.
nor a variety of resources or methods of getting business, because everything works. Like we, in our group, we always say that we have so many people from, different, specializing in different niches, and so many things work. But in that time, really, like it was mostly cold calling and door knocking, and for me it was so like not, just didn't like to do it, even though you don't want to do it, you see how you get better doing it, because people just say, even better than me, because you do that. But you kind of learn after a few calls that people ask the same questions or have the same objections, and you can be better prepared for next time. But I really, really didn't like to do it. And
Mm,
gradually, by searching and asking questions, I kind of figured out, well, why don't I do it with the people that already know me and like me and trust me, or how do I know more people? Because again, I didn't grow up here.
mm,
So first of all, you're different. Just I mean, you've got some accent, first of all, then you don't know anybody, right? Nobody knows you. Who cares about you anyway? So, there are challenges there, but how do you grow up your sphere? So that's what I focused on, and I saw that it works. If you grow your sphere, and if your sphere likes you, trusts you, sees you as a professional, they'll do business with you when the time comes. So if you're going to do it that way, you have to really get very intentional and very intense about increasing your sphere, so that more people know you, and
right.
like you and trust you. And with the way social media really grew, right? The importance, and that in those times we had Facebook, right? And
Right.
some other ones that are no longer here. But gradually, social media gave us even better avenue for exposure, and for maintaining our sphere of, I mean, increasing our sphere of influence, and those touches, so that people don't forget about us. uh,
Yes.
so yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing. Yes.
That is wonderful, and it's such a great story, and I think that a lot of people can relate to it, especially, your journey, right? On how you got in and you were starting with a team, and I think teams do serve a purpose, being on a team like that you were able to get all that experience, because that's why you join a team, just so you can boom, instantly just start doing deals. But then like you said, then you kind of become inept because then you're like, okay, well, how do I do this for myself now, right? Because the team,
Correct.
everything's dialed in, everything is, and now, being a realtor, you're basically your own boss, you're only as good as your last deal, so if the team's not feeding you leads or giving you, you're like, where do I get my next?
Correct.
It's nice that you went through that journey too of like trying cold calling, like for
They
me.
made me. They made me. They made me do it. They made me deliver cookies to different businesses around the new subdivisions. And I did that. Yeah, I delivered cookies with a flyer and a smile, and and I had to do those cold calls because we had that Monday meeting every morning, and I had to show the results, and I had to show what I did. So.
Oh, that's awesome. But it's cool because you have to go through those experiences, to really, because like think about, like you said, like so many ways, right? Like you could do social media, you could do cold calling, you could do like there's so many different directions. That's like the mind-boggling part of being a realtor, is which direction do you go? But honestly, you got to just go with what's right in front of you, like if that was what was being presented to you at that time, then just do it 100% until the next thing presents itself, and it looks like little by little you found your way to say, okay, I want to build my own sphere. So tell us a little bit about that, because up until now, you from Bulgaria, you don't have a big network. It's not like you have a big, contact list or anything. What did that look like, just starting to intentionally like build your sphere?
Yes, and that's such a great question because I know a lot of people just really kind of disregard when you say, "Oh, sphere of influence." Oh, the people that I know, yeah, my family, friends, and all that. And I can say, all my friends and family have done business with me, all of them. So,
Wow.
so that's the idea. It's something that it's like prospecting, cold calling. Any method that you choose, you have to be consistent. You cannot do it for 2 weeks or and then stop for 2 months or 2 years. You have to do it every day. So one of the early things that I did that absolutely work now, that absolutely do not require any skills, it just requires a commitment, is to especially now with social media, wherever your people are they on Facebook, are they on Instagram? For some reason my Bulgarian people are on Facebook, and so I'm there too. And even earlier, I still do it. I used to do it much more, let's say, consistently before, but I would really go and check all the people that I had. It could be 500 friends, right? And I would check every 2 3 days. I would check what everybody's doing. I would really go like a little stalker, honestly. Just go and check each person. What have they posted? What's happening in their life? Can I help them with something? Can I if somebody's kid got an achievement award, somebody else got married. Unfortunately, some people get divorced, right? And but everything that's happening in people's lives, I wanted to see what they do. I wanted to be there for them, and I would make a meaningful comment, and I would do this all the time. Like, obviously I can't go through, let's say, 200 300 people in one day. At least I didn't want to do it all day. And but then I would just, again, that's why I did it every 2 3 days, and this happened all the time. So all of a sudden, and you know how the algorithm is, once you start keeping in touch with people and they respond to you, now they're going to show you more of what that person is doing, and more importantly, it's going to show them what you're doing. That's where I come in. That's where I want to show people, because then if you're active with posts and stories, especially now, they're going to see you as a professional, and you mix personal with professional. Places that you go to eat, places maybe that you go with your dog, with your child, right? I said dog first before child, but for a lot of people, pets are so important, and I really respect that. So basically everything that you post, people will, the goal is for people to relate to you, and to also see you as a professional, because they liking you is one thing, but they also have to trust you and to know that you're going to do a good job. And there are so many ways, right? Even posting people's testimonials, or I mean, why not? I had a closing, right? People see your closing deal. So I always do that. And just a variety of things that people keep people interested and top of mind and see you as a professional as well. So that was one thing. I would manually do that. I would also check the friends of my friends. I would go
Mm,
literally, okay, who are your friends? Oh, you've got 200, 500. Let me do a quick list that, or actually, you can also see who the mutual friends are, right? Uh,
mhm.
or people that are not actually, friends yet, or don't follow them if you're on another platform like Instagram, for example. So if you don't have clients, you have time, so you can go down those lists and see, oh, that's a new person. Oh, I know that person, they know me, but we haven't connected in a long time. Connect, friend or follow or something. So it works magic, because then you start connecting to those people. And if you are in the same geographic area, you have things in common and you meet in person, then you start building on that relationship too. So that was my other way to increase my sphere. First of all, I have hobbies like running and now triathlons, right? So a lot of, you meet people that way, and then when you post about that, people also like to see those stories of personal growth, and you actually doing some kind of challenge also. And then you start going to personal events. When with my son, and you have kids too, you go to like 50 birthday parties a year. Every weekend there is something, especially when they're little, and every parent invites all the other parents. And I was showing houses, going to birthdays, showing houses. That's how it was all weekend, every weekend. And people see you. If you meet somebody new, you don't need to give your business card. All you need is to know if they're on social media, get their social media, start talking to them, start commenting on their posts, create a relationship in person and online, and the business is going to come. The business is
Wow.
going to come. I don't have to sell anything. I just want them to see me as the professional that I am. And I don't have to force them to do business with me. They call me, right? If they think that I'm worth their trust and their business. So yeah, that's the formula.
That that is humongous. That is a huge value, and you make it, of course, sound so easy, but in reality, it is pretty easy, right?
Yeah,
It's
no skills. Like that's what I'm saying. You
yeah,
don't, and no money, right? It's free.
right, right.
Absolutely. Oh, except that if you go to a if you go out, you have to spend some money. But again, spend whatever, a few bucks on a kid's birthday present, right? And
Right.
you're having fun. Your kid's having fun. You're having fun. You're in front of people, having the chance to make more connections. What's better than that?
Yeah, so I like the tactical part of what you shared, which was you made it a goal of yours. You had 500 friends at that time, right? So these were 500 people that you were following, or
Yeah, well, we were friends on Facebook again
yeah,
in those times. And I just, some people, I mean, not everybody is so active. Some people were in a different geographic, different part of the world, right?
right.
But at the same time, those that are here, you maintain that relationship with them. And again, there's always something going on in people's lives. So
What do you think time-wise? Because you, like you said, I didn't want to do it all day long, but like because I think about that sometimes with myself, like I'm posting, 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 but it does take time to be intentional, to comment, like I can barely even get like halfway down,
yeah.
and I'm already like getting a call or getting a text or getting an email or something's happening, so I'm not being intentional with it, I'm kind of just like, I'm like, oh, oh, cute, 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 and then, but I like what you were saying, that was like your prospecting in a sense,
Yeah.
like,
So don't look at your feed. Go to the people that you have as contacts and
mm,
click on each person, because maybe there are some people that you may not click on that day because maybe they're not around you, or maybe you just you just saw them the other
and
day.
the algorithm is funny, right? Because sometimes you don't see people's stuff.
Correct. That's why I'm not, and even now it feeds you so much extra stuff in your feed that you can never get through all these people. So I would
That's
just
what
go,
happens to me. Yeah, I can't
yeah,
even get through it because it's like
yeah.
sponsor, 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 sponsor that I can't
Correct.
even.
Exactly. So that's why no, you just go. It could be in the morning, it could be in the evening, because guess what? When you're tired, it doesn't matter because your brain, it's actually relaxing because you don't have to, concentrate. You just comment,
Right.
a few nice words, a few emojis, something meaningful, right? Not some, you know, something meaningful. I would always say that people really see that you see them, right?
Yeah.
And you just go through the list of names. I mean, honestly, otherwise you can go through that list. If you get very distracted in the feed, and it shows you what it shows you. And you can do the same with Instagram, even though we've got more followers. If you have a sphere of influence, you can also see that. And if you have time, see who your friends are following. You'll find friends in common. See who
Mm,
Facebook is suggesting to you to befriend, right? To be friends with. And you discover how many people actually you're not in touch with, that you could be in touch with. Right?
mhm.
I'm not gonna, message them and say, "Do you want to buy a house?" They haven't heard from me in a long time, but I can certainly, um, congratulate them on some achievement. How many Everybody posts vacations, right? And a lot of times I see things that, hey, this is on my bucket list. How was it? And people start talking to you. So there's so many, right? So many reasons
Yeah.
for a conversation. And who doesn't like to for other people to post on their posts? I mean, to comment on their posts, right?
Right,
So
right.
you don't want to hear crickets. You want those emojis and those commentaries and those likes. So again, you connect with people genuinely. Okay, let's it's
Yeah.
important to say that. And again, the goal is for them to see you as well.
Right. I love that. That is so like natural, organic, so I have to say that if now I know anything can happen, right? Like you can say somebody watches this video and they say, "Oh my God, I love that idea," and they're gonna start doing it today, right now. They started right now while they're watching the video, okay?
Yeah.
And what do you think? I mean, I know it's hard to say, right? It could happen the next day but how long do you think it takes for really you to establish yourself in that way that people feel comfortable to reach out to you? Or is there a science to it in any
I
way?
know, so I know with Sphere, right? Like that's one of the really usually the downsides, that you don't know at what point you'll get business. But again, by paying attention to people, you'll know what's going on in their life, and are they at a moment where, yeah, are they growing their family? Most probably they'll be looking for a house, right? And sometimes you have people that are moving out of your area, going somewhere else. Isn't that an opportunity for referral? So that's why you have to be so much on top. But I would say that again, it could come very, very quickly. It also depends on how consistent and how intense you are with this. Because let's say, I think I read Sirhan that said that he had like a membership for like 2, 3 gyms. That's exactly it. If you have time, be when we talk about 10x, like be 10x it, be very intense and intentional. Meaning that if you have to meet people, see what you like to do, what your hobby is, and go to meetups, go to places where these people meet. And first you're going to just have fun and do something that you like, but at the same time you're also there so that you can meet people and people can meet you. And again, these are ways to have a higher conversion, right? Because most of the time, honestly, I would say it's very close to 100%, because I've met people at playgrounds, right? Like I heard a girl, she was speaking Bulgarian to her son, and I was with my son, and I introduced myself not as a real estate agent, as a Bulgarian, and we
I
started
am a
to talk.
realtor.
Yeah, exactly. so so that's what I'm saying. You have to create more opportunities so that it takes time. So it could take, I mean, who knows? It may take 6 to 8 months to a year for your first client, or they may come in the first 2 months.
Right.
But then to have more and more deals, you just have to really combine that in person with social media, keeping in touch with people, and so it could take I mean, to really have a good business, it may take a few years if that's your only way to do it. So you may want to add another source as well. You know, if you want to go through social media, but at the same time, it could be faster, especially for I was coaching a couple of new agents, and they said, well, we have 4 closings this year, and this was actually the second half of the year, and I said, well, that's not bad at all, that's actually very good, and you've got 4 clients. Make sure start from this very day to pamper those clients, because you want in the next year those 4 clients to refer you at least one other client. How do you do that? They have to really be your fans, and you stay in touch, keep providing value, and at the same time, are you going to stop by, give them a gift? I said, make sure you really, really set a budget or time to keep in touch with those 4 people.
Yeah, so let's break into that part now.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
because this is where it gets really good. So you share the beginning strategy of how people can start. And I'm also thinking about this for like what we do on this channel with probate real estate, right? Think about the professional networks that we're
Oh,
building,
yes. Yes.
right? Like the attorneys, like the financial advisors, like people that we are networking with. Is
Mhm.
it not the same thing, right? It's
Correct.
network,
Everybody's in your sphere. Your colleagues also. Your colleagues move out of town. Who are they going to leave the business to you?
right?
I mean, refer business to you. Attorneys, lenders. Are, if you, I think, bring good energy into the room. If you create more relationships with friends, family, per other professionals, you will get referrals. So that's what I'm saying. It's hard to put like a timeline on it, but if you do all that, there's no way. I think at one point there will be just so many referrals at the same time. And yeah, so it's not only that, anybody who you know.
I don't know if anyone else is thinking this, but is it a little bit like stalkerish, you know?
Totally. Well, yeah, how I said it, totally. But again, so you just have to pay attention. You have to choose what you're going to do. You have to pay attention to people.
I
I
mean, at the
don't,
end of the,
yeah, I
I was
don't think, yeah,
sorry, I was gonna say at the end of the day, like if people that are on my channel, right, and they're liking my stuff and they're, like at the end of the day, I'm seeing them. I'm recognizing them. They're becoming familiar with me, I feel comfortable to send them a message or do whatever, and that has to be true with as long as you're intentional, like you said.
correct.
You're
And these are not random
genuine.
people, right? So these
Yeah.
are not some, I'm not like, just pick a person I don't know at all and then start messaging them and no, so that's not the case. These are people that just may have forgotten about me, right?
Mm,
I don't do That's the goal. I just don't want them to forget about me. And I want them to see me as a professional so
mm,
that when the time comes, I'm the person of choice. So that's the only thing. So and I don't fake compliments, right? So
right.
whatever you like, your relationship has to be genuine, obviously, because people see through fake stuff,
Mm,
and form genuine relationships, be helpful. Sometimes people call me, they don't want to sell or buy, they just want advice. And it
mm,
could be real estate, it could be something else too. They may need a professional for something. You're
mm,
just there for them. And
right.
sometimes I've had people apologize that, oh, I'm not calling because I want to buy and sell. I'm like, hey, you thought of me. Perfect. That's what I
Yeah.
want. I've achieved my goal. You thought of
Yeah.
me because next time a friend of yours is going to call me that wants to buy, or you yourself, is going to need to buy or
Yeah.
sell. So that's all
Very
I
good.
want.
I
Mhm.
love it. I love it,
Yeah.
Donika. This is something anybody can apply, anyone can do.
Correct. No skills needed, can be done like this right here. And I know this is not unique, that what I'm going to say, and people have heard it before. How many people do it? How many people go through their phone starting from the letter A? I'm in the process of doing it because I haven't done this lately, and you will be surprised. I find people and I'm thinking, oh, true, I haven't talked to that person. How are you
Hmm.
doing? It's been such a long time, and I remember
What,
something about them.
how are those conversations? Because what about the people they say, oh my God, I haven't kept up with my people. Like, are you just gonna come out of nowhere like, hey, I'm here?
Yes, and I mean, it's well, again, I don't start with, do you want to buy or sell a house? Do you know how the market's doing? People are going to ask you. The third question is going to say, how's the market? I hear it's things sell slowly or whatever. And you just say yes, and then you come in as the real estate professional. But the first thing is like, hey, how are you? Obviously you know the person, again, not some crazy stalker, not
Not
fishing for
picking people out
hunting
the yellow
for
pages.
yeah, random people. But again, these people are contacts, and I just ask them how they're doing. Hey, it's been a long time. I drove by your subdivision and I thought about you, and I said, hey, let me see what she's doing. For example, which may or may not be true, but actually most of the time it is. So there's always a way to connect. But I just say, how are you doing? Oh, okay. How's real estate? And somehow, if the conversation permits, we kind of flows, we continue. If not, we leave it somewhere. But now you've already, you've made the touch. and
Made the
and
touch.
then and sometimes if it's somebody that I know, oh, that person was active on social media, let me see what's happening. So it's a quick 1-2 minutes check and see what's happening in social media. Send them a text message to have a conversation, remind them about yourself. There's what, you're not doing anything wrong.
Okay.
Are you forcing somebody to, am I asking somebody to buy and sell? Am I forcing them to use me? I'm not doing anything. I'm keeping in touch. That's it. And that's how we can get over that little bit of feeling of, oh, I'm keeping in touch with people because I want them to be my clients, but I didn't force them to.
Right.
They see me for the real me. When they
Yeah.
talk to me, they see what I'm doing on, as a professional, when I post stories, post. So they made the choice. I just want to be top of mind. That's all.
Right, right. It's very genuine. And
So yeah.
who wouldn't like a message from you or a call from you, okay, Donica? Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? So
Oh,
the part
I hope so.
the part that I love also that you do is what you do once you make the client. So, okay, now the person you work with them, you buy, they sold the house, they bought the house. Now, what is your follow-up strategy that you apply?
Yeah, so I have to say that this is also a work in progress. And I wish I had a coach that can teach me, even with sphere of influence, like how to really not only have those people do business with you again, which is great, right? Like for us not to keep all those clients that we have, but for them to also be such a fan of you, to refer you out more to their friends, because we all have those people, right, that keep referring us, and those that maybe never referred us, but they did business with us again. Obviously depends on how wide their sphere is, and all that. But at the same time, um I have right now, I have a magazine that it's a third party service, and I send it it's like once every 2 months. So people get something from me in their home, and my photo is on the magazine just to make sure they know who
Ooh, I
it came
love
from,
it.
right? So you know who it came from. It has recipes, but it also has a lot about home, like the home. So it is related. On that same magazine, I can actually use the last page for vendors. This way I can reach either to a vendor that may actually share the cost with you, like a lender and attorney, or at the same time, you can also ask your clients that are small business owners, do you want me to put you in my magazine? How cool is that? And I'm not charging them anything, of course, because I can't guarantee them anything,
Mm,
right? Like a return. And anyway, I wouldn't charge my own client for that. And but how cool is that when you offer? Will people remember you? Yes. Will people remember that you put them in your magazine? Right. One person actually put it on their social media, and she said, I am featured in a magazine. So what are her clients thinking now? That she's
right.
the big shot, which she is actually. It's a great business that she has. But at the same time, she actually leveraged that to put in front of her audience and say, hey, I'm published. Actually, two of those clients did that. And they both put the page of the magazine that had their business on there. And I'm so happy about that because I hadn't thought about that.
That's
You know,
cool.
that this could also be good for their audience, that they're, published somewhere and, all
Yes,
that.
it's very good. And so this is now your database. Whoever you have done business with, this
Yeah,
isn't just friends on Facebook. Now this is people you've
correct.
done deals with.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoever I want to. Some people haven't done business with me, but we have a good relationship and I send it to them as well. If somehow in a conversation there's an opportunity, to that is not weird, right? Oh, let me send you my magazine, right? If it's natural, I would also add them and I would also send them that magazine so that they think about me. And that's just something in like physical, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then at the same time, I do a monthly newsletter, which is done by me. Well, I don't design it. I'm not that's not my strong point. I can just say yes, no, I like that. But I do but I do curate the content. So I'm the one who picks the articles and things that I want included. There's also a personal video message from me. So I personally like my newsletter. It has a good open rate, about 40 to 50%. At least it's something. I used to do it every week. I used to send on Thursday. I used to send events, happening around town. But I had some people that unsubscribed. I think it was too much to get an email from me every week. Maybe because people get so many emails, and at one point, I just felt like maybe it's too much. And then I was looking at the open rate, and I was like, let me just do that monthly newsletter, and then I could just send something. Maybe when something happens in the industry, I can just send a video, yeah, like a video email, which people tend to watch a little more, something short, sweet, to the point, and valuable as well. So that's why my monthly newsletter stays, and the other touches are just based on like as needed, right? I'm doing my Christmas cards, they're ready. Well, I'll show them to you since
Yay.
actually I have it right here. So this is,
Nice.
yeah, so I get them fermented, and then in the back I've got the 2026 calendar with the holidays, right? So people maybe don't pin their things on the um on the fridge
Refrigerator.
now, right? But at least they'll look at it a little bit. Maybe they'll keep it for a month or two. Maybe they'll throw it away on January
Oh,
2nd.
you said it's a magnet?
No, it's not a magnet, but you can put it
Okay.
on because it's a
Yeah.
one-sided. I mean, it's two-sided, but it's not like it doesn't open like a card.
Yeah.
You can put it on your fridge if you wanted to, or
Yeah.
somewhere. But now we've got our phones. But anyway, somebody may keep it somewhere, or at least the only thing I forgot this year, I usually put a QR code right here where my logo is. And that QR code has a video message from me with some good wishes for the new year. Again, I'm not selling anything. They know I'm a real estate agent, that they can call me when they want to sell or buy. This is just to wish their family a great year, health and prosperity and love and everything
I
else.
love that.
But this year I forgot. So I'm printing now, like a, oops, excuse me. I'm printing a separate QR code that I'm going to attach to my cards with my video message. So,
Oh, nice.
it just happened that we missed the QR code this year. But anyway, I'm just going to add like a little square card with that QR code, and people respond well to it because first of all, I want the card to be beautiful. I want it to stand out. And then I want something personalized for me. So that's paper, right? And then the other thing is everything else is by message, personal happy birthday, happy anniversary messages. And then just touches throughout the year. Again,
You
personal.
mentioned you mentioned little gifts or little drop-bys. What do you do with that?
Yes, exactly. So you do have those people that are very yes, and I also mentioned events because I know a lot of people know, hey, do you do client appreciation events and things like that? So I did that when my son for his birthday, especially before COVID, uh, all his birthdays were like a clan appreciation party, like a big wedding, because I had, at least 100 people there. So I kind of, because his birthday is in December, I used that as I invited just everybody to his birthday, honestly. So that was my clan appreciation. But as far as gifts go, yeah. So those people that really refer you business, I mean, they deserve a gift. And I would do maybe restaurant cards, something nice, something that they can go out. Let's say a family can go out as a couple, or they can go with their kids, or people love kids and their pets, right? So if they have kids, if they have pets, what would they love? Gifts for their kids, because their kids are going to be happy. So that's what I focus on. And I've sent gifts through Amazon, but at the same sometimes I don't find things that I like. So I would just go pick something and just do a drive-by and deliver those you know gifts for the family and gifts for the kids as well. Just something to, and I probably should do more, honestly, because I wish I had started that as a system, excuse me, as a system earlier. But the good part in real estate is you can always improve. Like there's no
It's
like
always a new day.
exactly, like if you're just now starting something new, something useful, a new system, cool. It didn't matter that you didn't start before. At least you started it now. There's always room for improvement. So that's what I've always thought. If that's my strength, if that's how I enjoy having this career, so I should be doing it that way. It just has to be intentional. It just has to be very, planned and budgeted, and, make sure again that people are, people are your fans. And sometimes we don't realize that, because I have that recent client, she's not only referring me, she's actually mad at her friends if they don't use me. She's like, I told
Yeah.
you to use Donika. That's why you're in such a mess right now. No, that's why
Ah,
you haven't sold your house. I
I,
told you to use Donica. Did you call Donica? I'm like, yay, how do I convert everybody? How does everybody, actually think of you that way? Wouldn't that be great? So we
yeah,
have to think of ways to do that. I'm actually taking her to dinner, and I have a gift for her in my car, because she deserves some,
yeah.
some treating and spoiling and pampering and,
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I love it. I think that this is a very, like you said, it could, if you're starting off brand new, it could take a little bit of time for it to build up. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's what being an entrepreneur is. If you look at like Steve Jobs, like look at, the creator of Amazon, like he didn't come out as Amazon, he was a dorky guy in an office with a bookstore, and that's what being an entrepreneur is, you're just day by day, brick by brick, you're laying the foundation. And something like this, yeah, you're not going to see get rich quick, like, oh, as soon as you press this button and you're going to get, print money, but it's something that you're building an empire, really, and brick by brick, you're building it out, and you're building a loyal clientele base that,
correct.
will serve you. And I think it's beautiful. I think that somebody that, doesn't want to get into like cold calling or sales, like, and even in my business, with probate, even using this like business to business, like professional relationships, attorneys, people that you're doing a business with, this is a way that you can stay in front of them. This is a way to keep in touch with them, where you get that like, know, and trust. And relationships take time. That's the bottom line. You can't speed up a relationship,
Yeah, and be valuable, provide value. So I know I'm talking about gifts, but that's, you have to also provide value. Be there for people when they need something. They need advice with their taxes, their escrow, their letters from the mortgage company are going to come, and if their taxes went up, all of a sudden their payment goes up. You have to explain why this is happening, and is there something they can do.
Walk them through it.
When they have to dispute taxes, early summer, you're there for them.
Mhm.
Market reports, equity updates, whatever,
Mhm.
we're there for them. We could do a lot of good in our community, right? If you're passionate about something, then there's so many opportunities to volunteer, to volunteer at your kids' school, form relationships there. There are a
Mhm.
lot of things for us, to be known, to be valuable for the community, for our clients. So if you do all that, actually it could be pretty quick. You could build that empire much quicker.
Right.
So whatever.
Doing it with the intention, yeah.
Correct. Yes. Whatever combines with your personality, what you're willing to do. But again, we have to do it. We
Yeah.
cannot stop. We have to do it.
So, we could probably talk forever
Yes.
because you're a wonderful person. I want to make sure that we're able to share how you partner with other agents. So, we are both a part of the Wolf Pack. That's how we know each other. We've had the awesome opportunity to hang out in EXP Con, which was great. And, you're in Georgia. Talk to us about how you've been mentoring agents in your market, in where you're at is helping other realtors become successful in real estate. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so I'm in Atlanta, mostly serving the northern suburbs. So most of and the agents that I have are from the same geographic area. I do have an agent in Vegas as well. So the way we support each other, obviously we meet in person. We do things together. We've done a 5K together. I made them run.
Mm.
So, we did that. Some people said they would never do it again. I know others are still, will be okay to repeat. And again, I'm there for support as well because, and honestly, I have agents that don't do it exactly the same way I do, but I still talk to them and know what I will also do. If that's not my lane, right? I find the person from our group that I know will spend time with them to just give them a little bit of advice and their own insight on that way of doing business, right? So we don't have to do anything. That's the beauty of connecting with a person that cares about you and a person that can actually connect you with somebody that business wise can maybe give you some advice. So that's I'm there to support
Mhm.
those agents and for us to not be alone, right? Because it could be some people do feel lonely,
Yeah.
and obviously we don't want that either. But yes, that's what we're
Yeah.
here for, to connect people, make sure that they feel connected, they have access to all of their resources, and then they can do it any way they like to do it. Obviously, with what I do, I know that aspect. There are certain things that I don't do, but I can always point them in the right direction. So
Yes, yes. So that's the awesome thing is watching this video, you may say, Carolyn, I love you. I want to do probate real estate, but that girl Donika is amazing. And the beautiful part is with our brokerage EXP is that we can actually co-sponsor an agent together, and that's what I love about EXP because you get two people, not to mention, all of our wolf pack and all the power that that brings, but two people that are intentionally caring about your success. Because like you said, real estate's a lonely business, my dreams was always to get to Remax, and then I finally got there, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, nobody talks to each other here.
there's so much competition. For us, it's the other way, collaboration, because we're not in competition. And honestly, because your mindset changes, even people that are from your geographic area, you don't look at them anymore as competition. Maybe learn something from them if they're doing things better or differently, or help somebody out with good advice, right? Like I don't
Right.
have to gain anything from it. What I gain is the satisfaction that I'm using what I know to help someone.
Right, right. Well said, Donica. Wonderful. Well, I will put all your links below so people can connect with you directly. And it was a pleasure having you on the channel today. Thank you so much. And until the next one, okay? See you later.
The
Bye.
pleasure was mine. 100%. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Donika, so much.